the topic of this one is going to be, the use of electric fencing to improve best management practices in in small farms and small livestock farms. In this case, we uh, in Central and South Florida, we have an increasing amount of smaller tracts of land converted into ranchettes and hobby farms. And a lot of these people have no or very little background in agriculture. And so there's a lot that they don't know, and there's a lot that they fear. I like this quote: ignorance is a monster that fills up the vacancies in the soul uh, that are unoccupied by the gaps in knowledge, basically. So a lot of people don't implement things because they don't know. Some of them just know enough about, some of these practices to fear them or make them dangerous about how they work, how difficult they might be, how we would overregulate them, etc. And that's why, our job is sometimes to delete information as extension agents and recreate the reality so people can then feel comfortable adopting this stuff. Like I said, small acres or small farms in Florida are defined as uh, an operation that makes less than $250,000 in income. That's no earth-shattering information for you guys, but the issue that we have is that they are increasingly varied and increasingly unsustainable. Uh, by the way that we have observed how bigger farms are now converted into smaller tracts with people wanting to do big things with no money and experience. It's a perfect recipe for disaster. So we have to sometimes, you know, hold their hand to mitigate some of these issues, when the mind tricks people or our clients. And I'm not trying to be negative, it's just the reality. This is a retirement state now, and a lot of people with a decent amount of money can overspend it on things that they don't understand and get in trouble, hence having issues with nutrient management, water pollution, etc. So the way that we try to get information out is in demonstrations accompanied by PowerPoint presentations and networking with our clients. So the Central Florida Livestock Agents Group, we do an annual pasture management school. It's a 2-day program with the objective of increasing the knowledge of people that own livestock, horses, cows, sheep, goats, chickens. Um, so what we want is for them to understand how things work in Florida because they don't work the same in Michigan or New York where they lived a chunk of their lives, or they didn't teach that in law enforcement school or as a teacher or as a nurse. And a lot of these people are retiring with some income, putting them back into, the local economies. And we want to make sure that they thrive. So we put this program together, the pasture management school, probably years ago, 9 years ago. Um, and many people have gone through this program. On average of 40 people can come each year. So we develop these demonstrations to help them um, gain the experience of how, fencing works and how you can afford them and how you move them and it's, the pieces and parts that go along with it. So our objective again is to increase the number of farms that adopt this best management practices of pasture rotation, um, appropriate stocking rate, a lot of the things that uh, we preach on a regular basis, and sometimes we understand that people have no interest in them because they don't know them. So we purchased 5 electric fencing kits. We have distributed 3 of them to different extension agents. We have 2 that are still in my office, yet to be claimed, but this money is not going to be wasted. I'm sure that we're gonna use it and we're gonna toss it to another person. So the idea is to get people uh, to use them, to get the extension agents to understand how they work, so they display them at their office and also use them as a teaching tool in some of their programs. What was that? No, I'm just kidding. You can you can mute your mic. So the activities that we did, we had 153 people total that we educated or that were exposed to the information. Demonstrations were given at 3 different events. One of them, Spring Ranchers Forum in Geneva, Florida, where we have 94 people. Central Florida Pasture Management School in Citra, where we had 33 people. And then we did one in Highlands County with 26 for backyard poultry. So people that are attending these programs may have horses, may have cows, may have small ruminants, and also poultry. So the lectures were given with the use of the demonstrations as well. We talked about pieces and parts. We talked about, pasture rotation, uh, nutrient dispersal, forage health, differences in perennial forages that we can use, soil properties, plant animal interactions, you name it. It's again a 2-day school on the pasture management school. In some of the other programs, the lectures were mainly different. Um, and again, the counties that we were in were Hardee, Highlands, Marion, and Seminole. I forgot to put Highlands in there. So the results were that people gain knowledge in benefits. This is what they reported basically. 75 participants returned their survey, which is about half. And then they reported increases in knowledge in rotational grazing, understanding of how to use and troubleshoot electric fencing, and I don't know why that's twice in the same one. There's a typo there. Anyway, um, the report is in, and I can answer the questions later for that third objective. Um, so most program participants stated that their intent to incorporate the best management practice of nutrient distribution through rotational grazing by the use um, of electric fencing would help them distribute the animal waste, reuse the amounts of fertilizer applied to their paddocks. So there's a monetary gain to using electric fencing, increase their pasture utilization. You can move the fence around, and then you can subdivide a pasture uh, however you want, and for how long you actually want. It's a temporary fence within a permanent structure, and also reduce inputs associated with weed management because you are managing better your desirable forage population. So the implications here, what are we, the so what is that UFIFAS extension agents are hired with a specialty. But when you get to your extension office and you get your first couple calls, that specialty might not be useful. So we need to continue to learn about things that we don't know. So having hands-on tools such as electric fencing can help extension agents be proficient and reliable and relevant to their clientele. Again, we understand a lot of the science, but our clients don't necessarily do. So by adopting teaching tools such as this one, we can help people reduce their nutrient pollution through good decision making, prevent overgrazing and erosion by implementing the right tools in the right place, improve the area where they're grazing. We have less pressure on desirable grasses and forages, so that helps out with the overall viability of the uh, forage population. And then as well, it helps with the dispersal of nutrients and uptake by the plants. Um, so again, the gaining knowledge on this equipment can incredibly help extension agents out, and the access for these tools is of great value to the community. Anyway, that's all I have.